Hello guys, welcome to my guide for leveling in Blade and Soul Revolution. This is server 408, you can call me SJ. Anyway, just to get things going, I think I have a couple of tips for leveling in Blade and Soul Revolution. And disclaimer is by no means am I even the fastest leveler in the server. In fact, if you look at my rankings, it is 265. I, of course, do not spend the whole day playing the game, however, or actually spend much cash the game at all. There are ways you can definitely boost your level just by doing that. But if you are a free-to-play player, then you definitely want to make the best use out of all of these tips. Now, before I get into how to maximize the ultimate use of each item or what combinations can you get the best experience gain, I'll start off by what are the best farming practices and what are the best EXP places to gather to gain EXP every day from start to finish. Just so you know, the game resets most of the dungeons and all the daily dungeons at 12 midnight. However, your stamina only regenerates at 4 a.m. 4 a.m. And this is referring to Singapore Malaysian time, which is +8 GMT. You might have to adjust it to your time zone accordingly. Now, first of all, the best EXP gain, let's just go into more details, is Training Ground. Training Ground will only be activated at level 100, and a second tier will be activated at 150, and a Dragon Flag at level 200. So now, when you go into the Training Ground, you will find monsters equivalent of your level, and subsequently every 10 levels. So in the level 100 dungeon, you will see level 100, 110, 120, 130 mobs. And in this game, there is a level EXP penalty, whereby you should only fight monsters +10 range of your level. So if I'm level 170, I should only be fighting 160 to 180 to maximize my EXP gain. If not, there will actually be a penalty. So to avoid that penalty, I will definitely only fight monsters within my level range if I'm prioritizing leveling. Next is the daily dungeons. As you can see, the daily dungeons, you at the start of the game, you start at level 1. As you can see, this is the rewards. There's 2 dungeons, both unlocked at 30 and 60. I don't think this is difficult to reach. It is only past 100 that I think most players face that wall. And depending on number of days that the server has opened, you will advance one stage by one stage. Unless, of course, you can reset the entry using the black crystals, but I strongly do not recommend resetting the entry if you are free to play, because the crystals can definitely be placed into better use somewhere else. And the daily dungeon is not effective until, say, late stages, where you can see the EXP gain goes all the way up to 1 million, and I think by then it matters more. So for early leveling, definitely not. Next is dungeons. Now, dungeons can be accessed through multiple ways. Usually I like to go to the menu and find party. So as you can see, the first dungeon opens at level 40. The main point of dungeon is definitely not EXP, but there is a chance of drop. So this goes hand in hand with your progression. So when you're leveling past 40, you will definitely want a chance to get all these blue equips, or a chance to get this purple heroic level type of crafting recipe. At 90, you'll find radiant equipment available as a drop, and then subsequently so on and so forth. Forgotten Temple at 140, same thing, but you get more heroic crafting recipes, and Heaven's Mandate being the latest one, where you likely get a radiant weapon, as well as a chance for heroic weapon recipes. But this can also be a source of EXP at early levels. Then again, as I said, just do dungeons as and when it's available. But to me, if you want to be efficient, you want to leave the normal dungeons, the ones that I just showed you, till the end of the day, because How stamina works in this game is by the number of monsters you kill, and dungeon monsters do not give any EXP. Only the completion reward. As you can see here, even for a level 90 Tome of the Exiles, it only gives you 129k EXP. You can easily get that by killing 4 mobs in the PvP map. That I will cover later. Next, the next thing you should be doing is, of course, the main quest. Now, the main quest can be found in the top right hand corner. As you can see right now, it's blinking orange because I'm at a step quest. But if you are going through normal quest progression, you will find that following the main quest is the best way to level up. Now, moving to if you have trouble clearing the main quest, meaning that you're under leveled for the next line of quest and you're dying to the boss, there's of course 3 things you can do, but we will not cover all those things today. We will not cover item upgrading or anything like that. Mainly, I'm just showing you what alternatives you can do when you're stuck. So, assuming that you don't have any better equips to equip or any upgrades to handle, your next best choice will be to do the side quest. The side quest will be available every time you reach a certain act in the main quest, and it will be available once you reach it. And there will be a chain of side quests that you can do. As you can see, just killing one boss monster, a unique monster, will give me 424k EXP as a side quest, and this will chain for about 5 or 6 times throughout. Now, the main quest and side quests are very important in this game because this will be your main leveling tool all the way, even until now 170. I'm still depending on my main and side quests for the main bulk of the EXP, other than training ground. As I said, training ground is number 1, and that's why I covered it first. Next is grinding. Every game has a grind, and definitely in this game, grinding is no exception. So just to show you what I'm talking about, basically you want to fight monsters around your level for the best EXP. Now, moving to a level 168 map, I'm going to show you killing one of these monsters, how much EXP you give, and what alternatives you have to gain more EXP to be very efficient. As I said, stamina in this game is ultimately based on how many monsters you kill and not time based or anything like that. Yep, so here I'm at Taylor's Gunner, and just going to show you, take note of how much EXP you get. See, 7.7k per mob. Yep, so 7.7k per mob is barely about 0.2 or 0.1% of my level per mob. And actually, the secret is there is a faster way. Of course, this will be more dangerous as well. For every map faction, you will have access to a PvP map. This is marked as a red. This is, for Viridian Coast, is Steelbook Bracing. This is marked as a red cross. This means that it is PKable, or otherwise player versus player enabled. Anyone from the opposing faction can attack you while you're farming. So you have to take note. So say for example, I'm going to Highland Necropolis, which is level 140. Take note that the mobs I just killed are 168, and it gives me 7.7k EXP. So say I just moved to a level 140, which means I'm having lesser EXP. Let's see what happens here. Alright, so this map has already told you there will be a war zone, meaning opposing factions can PK you when you're farming, and you'll lose faction points once you die. Now, just to give you an idea of the EXP per mob, despite being at 140, 15,000. See that? Per mob is 15,000. Of course, the mobs in this map are also aggressive, or otherwise known as aggro. This means the mob will attack you voluntarily without you even hitting them. So clearly, the PvP map monsters are a better way to farm, and I believe for those who are adequately geared, this will be your main source of farming after your stamina turns white. Now, bonus. Basically, right now I'll talk about how to best maximize your EXP gains. So, from what I said just now, point 1 is training grounds, point 2 and 3 are daily dungeon and dungeon, point 4 and 5 are main and side quests, and point 6 is farming. For your training grounds and farming, these are all based on how you scale your EXP in this game, and there is so many ways you can boost your EXP. So first of all, I'm going to talk about the obvious, stamina. I've said this word multiple times, and for all of you who do not know, every day at 4 a.m. when the stamina resets, it will be at green, at a 120 mark. That is where you get the most hunting bonus. As you can see, right now I'm at white, which I get 0% silver XP or items from enemies. But at green, you get a bonus on top of the monster, meaning the 15k just now likely becomes a 28k. And all this should only be spent in the training ground. If you do it right, you'll only be left with white after you complete the 1 hour training ground. Now for grinding, the stamina won't be in effect because by right you will be white at the start of the day after your training ground. So what else can affect your EXP? First of all, this is pets. Pets are a way you can best gain your EXP. As you can see here, my Yamato at a green, basically rarity, it gives me a 21% gain in EXP. 21% EXP in the special options. And if you were to go see a white, it'll give you about, I don't have a white EXP here, but if you have a white pet, a common pet, EXP will give you about 5% less. So equipping just this pet will give you not only the bonus stats, it will also help you reduce your stamina use, as well as EXP gain if you use an EXP pet. This is best used in conjunction when you're farming. And there are of course other pets with other effects that is better used for, say, questing, dungeoning, PvP. There's many things that you want to look out for. Now, after pets, next most important is of course your buffs. Now, in this game, I think at the start you get a free Hajun's Blessing. This gives you a bonus 40% XP gain and drop rates for silver and items. And of course, talismans. Talismans are available in your shop. And this can be found... just let me see... Yeah, where the hell is it? Should be under utility. This can be found under Utility Limited, and you'll find Hajun's Blessing available to be purchased, as well as a Talisman of Experience. This will be purchased by your black crystals. Although you should only be buying all this after prioritizing your gear. As I said, gear is very important in this game because there is only 4 tiers actually. They are important right now, and having a good tier at the start means that you have an advantage in killing mobs, having no issues clearing quests, and moving to the next level easier. Now, other than all these buffs that you can see, which adds to 80% from Hajun's Blessing and Talisman of Experience, which stacks, you also have your set bonuses. And people usually think that the only set bonus you're gonna get is basically what you're wearing, which is your soul shields. Having the starter Hajun soul shield at 8 sets, it will be a 15% EXP gain. Right now I'm only wearing 5 sets. This will only mean a 10% EXP gain. But on top of that, your items will also have an XP gain. I'm not referring to the special options for each say item, but rather the accessory set. As you can see here, the slaughter accessory set. for this purple side is for 3P 7.5, 5P 15, 7P 22.5. This means that you level like 1/5 quicker than everyone else if you just have slaughter, the full slaughter set. Of course, with blue, I think the set effect is much less. Let me just see if I can find. No. Yeah, I don't have the XP set for this, but basically you get the drift. So just to reiterate, stamina, pet, talisman, your blessings, soul shield, and set bonuses all go towards how to better boost up your total EXP per day, and then use all these buffs on top of your training ground and normal grinding. This will speed up your leveling by a lot every day. And last but not least, just to cover, did you know in your training ground you can actually use the stamina booster? I'm not referring to the 4x, but this. You see, you'll spend twice as much stamina, but that's fine because you want to use as much stamina as you can in the training ground, because the mobs there give the best EXP. And the number of stamina you use is based on how many you kill. So it's basically killing twice as fast, but the time limit of the training ground remains at 60 minutes. This means that you'll be gaining 2 times EXP just by farming inside the training ground with this on. And this lasts for an hour. Just nice. And there's no need to do anything. Take note that the times 2 will not work in the training ground as stated in the game here. Also, let's say you're done for the day. Let's say you need to sleep or work tomorrow. There's this offline auto hunt. You have 3 hours of it by default, but take note, don't use it at the last 3 hours before the stamina reset. If not, you will only be given less than 3 hours until the reset.